Intercultural communication in Dune. This presentation deconstructs intercultural communication in Dune, focusing on cultural shock, identity, communication style, power dynamics, stereotypes, and hostage value dimension. Dune, a universe of cultural classes. In Dune, cultures collide on Arrakis, a desert planet where imperial politics, native Fremen traditions, and ecological challenges intertwine, creating a rich ground for intercultural analysis. Arrakis: From Lost Caladan to Desert Survival, Paul and House Atreides experience cultural shock on Arrakis. Harsh desert, sandworms, and Freeman customs test their adaptability and initial understanding of this new world. Paul's journey: awe, frustration, mastery. Paul progresses through cultural shock stages, from awe at the Freeman's resilience to frustration with their rituals, and finally, mastery as he integrates into their way of life. Paul's dual identity: Atreides heir versus Muad'Dib. Paul negotiates his identity as heir to House Atreides and the Fremen's prophesied leader. Toomey's identity negotiation theory explains how he balances these roles in a new cultural context. Fremen, a collectivist society. The Fremen prioritize the group's survival over individuals' desire, reflecting a collectivist orientation. In contrast, House Atreides operates in a more individualistic and hierarchical system. High versus low power distance. House Atreides reflect a moderate power distance, reflecting authority but valuing loyalty. The Fremen, by contrast, operate in a flatter structure where leadership is earned and not inherited. Survival means low uncertainty avoidance. The Fremen embrace uncertainty, adapting to Araki's harsh condition. Their rituals like water-sharing ceremonies reduce anxiety. Outsiders, like the Harkonnens, struggle with this adaptability due to the harsh condition. Fremen nonverbal cues versus noble protocol. Fremen use nonverbal communication like silence and efficient gestures, contrasting with Noble's verbose diplomacy. These differences create early misunderstanding and mistrust one and the other. Language of power: imperial versus local. The noble houses' elaborate language reflect their political power, while the Fremen's concise and functional language emphasize survival, highlighting different cultural values. Challenging Fremen's Savage stereotypes. Dune challenges stereotypes by revealing the Fremen as resourceful and strategic, rather than the primitive image imposed by outsiders like the Harkonnens. Stereotypes block trust and alliance. Early stereotyping prevents trust and collaboration. House Atreides overcome this by respecting Fremen's culture, enabling alliances that shift the power balance on the planet Arrakis. Imperial control versus Fremen resistance. The Emperor and noble houses exploit Arrakis, enforcing colonialist power structure. The Fremen disrupt this with their unity and resourcefulness under the Paul leadership, or Muad'Dib. Arrakis: culture shaped by desert survival. Life on Arrakis revolves around water conservation and desert survival. Misunderstanding this context, outsiders like the Harkonnens fail to respect or adapt the Fremen ways. Language, rituals, and water misunderstood. Outsiders misinterpret Fremen rituals, like water sharing or sandworm riding. This misunderstanding delay collaboration and reinforce distrust between the cultures. All learns, observe, respect, adapt. All gains Fremen trust by observing their practices, respecting their rituals, and adapting to their ways. His approach highlights successful intercultural communication strategies between him and the Fremen. Learn cultural context first. Most traders could have studied Fremen customs and rituals beforehand, aligning with Bennett's DM's model of cultural sensitivity and reducing early miscommunication or misunderstanding. Bridge stereotypes with empathy. Overcoming stereotypes requires empathy and active listening. Understanding the Fremen survival driven culture would have fostered alliance and reduced the tension between the Fremen, Atreides, and Harkonnen. Empower marginalized voices. Encouraging Fremen's representation in decision-making would address power imbalance, creating respect and trust between the rulers and the native population, or the Fremen and the Atreides. Dune: A Mirror for Our World. Dune reflects real-world intercultural challenges by applying empathy, respect, and adaptability. We can bridge cultural divides